Icelocked here with Nocturne Gaming, back with more Legends of Eidolon, and today we're taking a look at a chopping guide. To get started with the skill, the first thing you should look at is in the Skills Info tab, and we're looking for our chopping stats. Our first primary stat is chopping efficiency, and this is how you gain up to 100% chance to gain logs when you chop a tree, as well as later on gain access to the multi-log drop chance. The second stat is chopping speed, and this does increase your overall gains per hour. However, I wouldn't put too much emphasis on this until much later in the game. When you're at World 3, you can use chopping speed to increase your overall sample size. The next stat would be your multi-log drop chance, and this is how we can gain more logs per swing of our axe, and this will allow us to dramatically increase all of our gains per hour while we're chopping. The next screen to pay attention to is actually our AFK info tab, and this is where we get all of our information about how much we'll gain every hour. Up top you can see your logs per hour, and this is one of the primary ways to see how many resources you'll gain while you're chopping. Next is your EXP per hour, and this lets you know how fast you'll level up your skills. And after that, the next most important thing is actually this bar here at the bottom. There are two different variations of this bar. The first one is a green bar, and at the bottom it will say 5% here and 100% on the right side. The 5% and the 100% is how large of a chance you have to gain a log whenever you're chopping a tree. Our goal is to get enough chopping efficiency to get to the 100% bar. After we get to 100%, we can continue increasing our chopping efficiency until this bar turns orange, and it opens up the second variation. The orange bar is whenever you start seeing the 1 time and 2 time and eventually up to 50 and 70 times more logs for every time you swing your axe. So the more chopping efficiency you have, the more logs or more multi-log drop chance you have. One very important thing to mention at this point is when you're in between the 2 times to 3 times or 3 to 4 times, you actually don't gain anything more for this. So if you're at this stage where you can't squeeze out any more efficiency, you're actually better to go for more AFK gain rate than you are for more efficiency until you can gain past that next breakpoint. So your ideal would be just to be at 19.5 million efficiency and then as much AFK gain rate as you can until you can get to 64.5 million and then stop at 64.5 million until you can get to the next breakpoint. Now let's talk about ways to increase your overall chopping efficiency. First is from your gear, starting with your helmet. The Witch Hat, which is crafted in Anvil Tab 2, gives you 10% more chop efficiency. From there, your furled robes, also crafted in Anvil Tab 2, give you another 10% chop efficiency. From there, the Bleached Designer Wood Patch Pants is crafted in Anvil Tab 1 and gives you another 5% chop efficiency. From here we have two options, the Fibrous Footings and the Logger Heels. The Fibrous Footings are crafted in Anvil Tab 4 and give you 35% chop efficiency. The other option is the Logger Heels, which is crafted in Anvil Tab 2, but it only gives you 20% chop efficiency, so I do recommend getting the Fibrous Footings as soon as possible. After that, we're looking at Persephone's Bouquet. This is from the Dungeons Floorbow shop, and it gives you 15% skill AFK gain rate. It does require quite a few Floorbows, so it might be a little bit later in the game for you. From there, the Serrated Rex Ring is a crafted item. However, you do need Rex rings from the Dungeons Floorbow shop and the recipe drop from Baba Yaga to craft these rings. At base, each of these rings give you 8% skill efficiency, and using the mystery upgrade stones, you do have a chance to increase the overall miscellaneous bonus of this item. Our next tab is in the Specials tab, and there's a few things we can look at. First is your premium hat and ring can be upgraded with more wisdom, and this can give you more overall chop efficiency. For your trinkets, you have a few options. I recommend either the all AFK gain rates or looking at a few more options such as the Diamond Honker can give you all skill speed, and the other option would be percent to wisdom stats. If you have nothing else, you can use things that give you percent to all stats, but I would recommend overall using the AFK gain rate first. Next, we're taking a look at the Tools tab, and we do want to get the highest level axe that we can use. So there are a couple requirements. First is the materials to craft these axes, and the second is make sure you're paying attention to the level requirement, as these can get quite high. I believe the Starfire axe requires level 65 to use. However, each upgrade of this gives you more overall chopping power, so it is recommended to use the highest axe you can, as well as the latest world's tool upgrade stones, currently world 4, and this will allow me to get up to 46 chopping power, which directly correlates to more overall chopping efficiency. And one last section for our gear is our foods tab. There's nothing that directly increases your overall chopping efficiency, but there are a few useful items. Starting with your golden food, the golden ham can increase your overall skill EXP earned. However, I would be careful on how much overall skill XP you're gaining, and we'll talk about that a little later with one of the other bonuses. After that, you do have two foods that can increase your chopping speed. The saucy log fries, which is crafted in Anvil tab 1, can give you quite a bit more chopping speed. They are kind of expensive if you're using these regularly, but I would definitely make sure you have some when you're trying to increase your printer sampling. The other option is the Chognog, and this does give you a lot more chopping speed. However, they are consumed very fast, and I would not recommend using these on a regular basis. I would save these for whenever you're trying to get your 3D printer sampling to make the most efficient use out of these. The next section would be our talents, and I do recommend playing on a mage-based class, such as the Shaman or Bubonic Conjurer, or on the other side, you can use a Wizard. So in tab 1, our first priority should be smart efficiency to increase our overall total efficiency for our specialized skills. After that would be active AFKer to increase our AFK gain rates. From there, our next priority should be Book of the Wise to increase our overall base wisdom, as base wisdom does give us more chopping efficiency. After that, our next priority should be Mana Booster, and this is because of an alchemy bubble, so you gain more chopping efficiency based on how much mana you have. Moving on to tab 2, our biggest priority here is going to be these 3 talents here at the bottom. So you have Log on Logs, which gives you an active ability, so you do need to assign it to your action bar here. And this gives you a boost to the amount of tree drops that you get. After that would be Leaf Thief, and this gives you more chopping efficiency based on how many grass leaves you have in your storage chest. From there, Deforesting All Doubt increases the effect your wisdom has on chopping efficiency. There is another one here that I really don't recommend, but I use it for more minigame rewards, which is Chopping It Easy, so you can get a little bit more experience and a little bit more drops from your minigame uses. From here, your next biggest priority should be either Individual Insight, which gives you more base wisdom, or if your gear is good enough, you can use Untwisted Robes, and this does give you quite a bit more wisdom from your equipment. After that, your next biggest priority should be Mana Overdrive, which gives you a large percentage boost to your overall mana, which can increase your Hocus Chopus in Alchemy. Moving on to tab 3, there's only a few talents that are useful for chopping, starting with Wiz Wumbo to give you more maximum talent levels for Book of the Wise in tab 1. After that is Stupendous Statues, as it does give you a bigger bonus from Lumber Bob, which increases your overall chopping power. After that, Occult Obols does give you a small boost to your wisdom, however this would be my very last priority as it does not give you a very large bonus. After that, you have a few more options which can be useful, starting with Earlier Education to give you more talent points in tab 2 if you need it. And then from there, you can spend your extra points into your alchemy bonuses, as you're not going to be doing a lot of combat, so these other talents up top don't affect your overall chopping efficiency. On to tab 4 for the Bubonic Conjurer, there are a few more things to help us, starting with Symbols of Beyond to basically gain free talent points in all of our talents that we have at least 1 level in. So this is a extremely useful skill, as it's basically free skill efficiency for you. After that, you have Skill Wiz, which increases the effect Wisdom has on skill efficiency, and it gives you a small base Wisdom boost depending on how many points you have. From there, you have Utmost Intellect, which gives you another percentage boost to Wisdom, and it also increases the maximum level for Book of the Wise in Tab 1. After this, you have one more benefit, which is the Family Guy, which can give you another small boost to Wisdom because of your family bonuses, such as the Tab 2 bonus for more total Wisdom. After that, all of your other talent points can go into things like your lab skills, but there's not really a whole lot else you can do with it at this point. Next up is our star talents, and our first priority should be TikTok for more AFK gain rates. After that, Toilet Paper Postage Stamp can give you another small bonus, but it is based on the level of your stamps, and we'll talk about stamps in a minute. After that, I do recommend a few points into Will of the Eldest, as it can give you another small boost to your overall Wisdom. On to Tab 2, we have a few more things that can be useful, starting with Super Source for more base efficiency. After that, Action Frenzy, which can increase your overall skill speed for chopping and other skills. From here, you can put more points into Frothy Mulk to give another big boost to your foods, such as the Saucy Log Fries. I do like having points into Telekinetic Storage, Printer Sampling, and Shrine Architect on all my characters, but it's not necessary if you're just looking for more efficiency. Up next is our star signs, and there's a few things that can be useful here. First is the Hipster Logger to give you more chopping efficiency and multi-log chance, and you have a few options after that. I like the OG Skiller as it does give me more skill prowess effect and more skill AFK gain rate, but if you don't like that, you can use the Big Comatose for more skill AFK gain rate. On Tab 2, or the Hydrant tab, there's a few that can be useful, such as Comatose Measure for more overall skill AFK gain rates, and if you don't like those, you can use the Wiz Pomo to give you more base Wisdom. Taking a look at our cards next, our first priority should be Chaotic Troll to give you more all skill efficiency. After that, there is one more boss card, which is the Amrat card to give you more skill AFK gain rate. From there, we're looking at our hard resources, starting with the Cubed Tree for more chopping speed, the Alien Tree for more total chopping efficiency, the Wispy Tree for more chopping speed, and the Saharan Foal for more AFK gain rate. Next up is the Toilet Tree for more chopping speed, and finally the Palm Tree for more AFK gain rates. There are a few other cards that can give you things like Wisdom, but this is my base recommendation. For your card bonuses, you have two choices. First is Easy Resources for more skill efficiency, and the second option is Hard Resources for more skill AFK gain rate. Remember, this is one of the choices that you have, so if you're in between those two multi-ore drop chances or multi-log drop chances, you want to use the AFK gain rate instead of efficiency, as this doesn't actually give me anything right now, and I'll gain another small boost by using Hard Resources instead. Next, we're taking a look at the bonuses throughout the worlds. In World 1, we have stamps. So in the Skills tab, you have the Hatchet Stamp for more base chopping efficiency, the Chop and Bag Stamp for more carry capacity, which can be very useful later in the game. Next is the Dupe Log Stamp for more multi-log drop chance. After that is the High IQ Lumber Stamp for more chop and EXP gain. This can be useful, but again, there can be a penalty if you're not paying attention to it. From there, you have the Swag Swingy Tool Stamp for another boost to our overall chopping efficiency. Also in the Combat tab, you have a few more options, such as the Mana Stamp for more base MP, and you also have things like the Book Stamp for more base Wisdom, and a little bit farther down, the Arcane Stamp for another small boost to your base Wisdom. After that, don't forget about your statues, as there are a few things that can be useful. First is the Feasty statue for more food effect, can give you a small boost to your chopping, and then a little bit farther down you have the Lumber Bob for more chopping power. Don't forget to pick up your golden statues, as this is a way to make your statues account wide, so it doesn't matter which character you spend your statues on, they'll all benefit from it. On to World 2, starting with Alchemy. There's quite a few bubbles that affect chopping, starting with Stable Genius to give you more base Wisdom. After that, Mage's Best is another great bonus, as this, for me, basically doubles all of my purple bubbles. However, this is only in effect when you're online on a mage character. So it is a great way if you're actively playing a mage character to get a little bit more chopping efficiency. After that, you have Hocus Chopus, and this is one of the best benefits in alchemy, as this gives you more chopping efficiency based on your maximum MP. This is why we chose all of those talents and other benefits to increase our overall MP. After that, you have Molto Logo to increase your multi-log drop chance, and next is No Double to increase your chopping EXP gain. Moving on up, we have Labrain Tools to give you more skilling power from your hatchets. After that, all the way at the top, you have 2 more bubbles to help you, which is Severa Purple, which basically doubles all of the bonuses that you get from specific bubbles. And 1 and 3 are 2 of the biggest bubbles that help us in chopping, so it is worth investing in this. After that, you do have Tree Sleeper, which can give you more chopping AFK gain rates. One last bubble to mention in alchemy is the Prowessary bubble. The Prowessary stat reduces the amount of chopping efficiency you need to get to multi-log drop chances, which means your skill efficiency will take you farther with a lesser amount. Also in alchemy, we do have the vials, and there's one main vial that helps us, and that is the Spanish Sahara, which does increase our chopping efficiency. It does cost quite a few of these logs, so it is worth investing in this, but it may take you some time. Also in World 2, we do have the post office, and there's quite a few upgrades that can be useful, starting with the taped up timber, and this can give you chopping efficiency, more prowess effect, and more chop AFK gain rates. There's a few more boxes that can be useful, such as the mana box. However, this would be my last priority in chopping, unless you just have a ton of spare boxes. Also in the second upgrades tab, there's a few things that can be useful, such as the Myriad Crate to give you more base stats, efficiency, and EXP gain. If you again have enough boxes left over, the Utilitarian Capsule can give you more bonuses, such as printer sampling size. Our last bonus in World 2 is our Obols, and this is something that takes a lot of time to work on. However, there's 2 main things that we want from our Obols. First is the Choppin' Obols that give us more chopping power and wisdom, and if you don't have enough of these Choppin' Obols, you can stack up with just base wisdom, as this can give you a decent bonus, but it's not a lot, as we can look at our totals, and I'm only gaining about 75 total wisdom from all of my Obols. On to World 3, and there's one major benefit in World 3, which is the Prayer Obelisk. There's a few prayers here that can be useful, starting with Skilled Dimwit. This does increase your skill efficiency, however it does give you a pretty big penalty to your skill EXP gain. So I do recommend leveling this up, as that skill efficiency can be a lot more useful than the skill EXP gain, especially if you combine this with the Maestro's bonus, which we'll look at in a little bit. And after that, you have the Balance of Proficiency, which is the opposite of Skilled Dimwit. So this increases your skill EXP gain at the penalty of skill efficiency. This can be really useful for things like your Maestro. That's a lot harder to level up your skills. For World 4, we have a couple more bonuses, starting with the dinner menu, so the meals you cook. First up is corn, to give you a big boost to your overall skill efficiency. A little farther down, you have a few more that can be useful, such as rice ball, to give you more skill efficiency as well. And then a little later on, you have the leek, which gives you another big bonus to your skilling Prowessary effect. So these are the 3 that I really recommend leveling up as soon as possible for your skilling needs. Next up is the laboratory, and we have a few bonuses from there, starting with the Certified Stamp Book, which doubles the bonuses from all of your stamps, which can be a nice little boost for you. After that is My First Chemistry Stamp, which doubles the bonuses from all of your alchemy vials, so that's another good boost to your overall skill efficiency. If you have the Emerald Navette Jewel, it does give you more base efficiency and skill speed. This bonus does apply twice if you have all of the green jewels activated, so it can be a really good bonus to your overall skill efficiency. I do feel it's worth mentioning the Black Diamond Rhinestone, as this does give you another bonus to all of your dinner menu meals. So those bonuses you see in the dinner menu actually give you another 24% or so. Also in the laboratory is the consoles tab, and there's quite a few chips that can be useful here. So looking at our chips, we want to start with this red chip here in the middle, which increases your total skill efficiency for all skills. After that, the red chip on the middle row on the far right gives you more base efficiency for all skills. From there, you have these 3 orange chips on the bottom row, and each of these gives you a double bonus to a miscellaneous stat of things like the trophy, the top keychain, and the pendant. So all of those can be very useful depending on what you have equipped in those slots. The last chips are things that are the bottom right here and the very bottom left. Both of these double a bonus of a card you have equipped. So this one increases or doubles the bonus of the card that you have equipped in the bottom right slot on your card screen. This one increases or doubles the bonus of the card in the top left slot of the card screen. This can be very useful with things like the Chaotic Troll that gives you 50% to all skill efficiency, or Amrak that gives you the 12% AFK gain rate. One last bonus to mention is the right hand of action on your Maestro, as this gives you a huge bonus to your skill efficiency. At 100 talent points, it's 75% more skill efficiency for all of your characters. However, the negative here is the Maestro has to have a higher level in that particular skill compared to your other character. So if I look at my Maestro skill levels, my Chopin is 43. I believe my Shaman's is 49, so I'm not actually gaining the benefit from this talent. So if I want to gain this, I do need to level up my Maestro quite a bit, and then I'll get a huge bonus to my overall skill efficiency. You can use the left hand of learning if your Maestro's level is high enough, as this does give you another big boost. This can be really useful if you're trying to level up your chopping to, say, use the next axe on your Shaman. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you're enjoying this type of content, and a huge shout out to our Patreon members that support the work we do. Thank you from all of us here at Nocturne Gaming. If you would like to become a patron and get some added benefits, check out the link in the description. If you have any thoughts, comments, or questions, please leave them down below for me, and we'll see you next time.